Hello friends, myself Tushar Shah and I am pursuing BA from JCCLC Kolkata. Currently I am a legal intern at Lexis and Company law firm. So today I am gonna discuss about tortious liability of a state. So there is a very famous legal maxim in which is always used is that res non potest precare. That is, the king can do no wrong. But as the king was that king can do no wrong. In the medieval times, the king was considered as a son of God. So how can a god can do wrong? So this Latin term was from the medieval times, and very famous Latin term. But this is not the medieval times, and today the government can be sued in the court for the wrongful acts of his employees. So basically, this is not the medieval time. The time has changed, and now we can also sue the government. We can pull the government to courts. Article 300 of the Indian Constitution specified that the Union of India or the government of state can sue and be sued like an ordinary person. So basically, Article 300 empowers the citizens to sue government of India and the state government, and like an ordinary person. So, Peninsular and Oriental Stream Navigation Company was a Secretary of State for India. So basically, there was a very famous case law from which this tortious liability of state evolved, and the famous meanings means how of sovereign and non-sovereign functions. Some famous definitions were given out. So what are sovereign functions? And these are the functions of the state for which the state is not liable under any provision for wrongful acts of its employees. So basically, which the sovereign functions are those functions of the state is in which the state cannot be held liable. If any wrong done by his employees, the state can't be held liable because it is the sovereign function. For example, the functions like defense activities, is preserving armed forces, is maintaining peace and war, diplomacy of some of the sovereign functions for which the state is not liable. So maintaining peace and war or defense and activities, preserving the armed forces, these are some of the activities which are sovereign in nature, and for these activities the wrong done by the employees, the state cannot be held liable. What are non-sovereign functions? So basically, which are not sovereign and functions are all are non-sovereign functions. So there is also a very famous case law which laid down the foundation one of the liability of tortious liability of state. So the famous case law was State of Rajasthan versus Vidyavati. The Supreme Court said that in the connection it has to be remembered that under the Constitution we have established a welfare state whose functions are not only confined on maintaining law and order but extend to engaging all activities including industry, public transport, state trading, to name only the few of them. Insofar, the state activities have such wide ramifications involving not only the use of sovereign powers but also its powers as employers, as in so many public sectors. It is too much to claim that the state should be immune from the consequences of the tortious acts of its employees. So basically, the Supreme Court has said that the functions of the state has been very much wider from maintaining law and order, and so they have various companies running out. And if their employees commit some wrong and they are not sovereign in nature, the state have to pay compensation. The state can't be immune to this type of thing. So it is a very famous case law, State of Rajasthan versus Vidyavati. And Kasturi Lal versus State of UP. It is a very famous case law again, and this is a famous case law, but this is always considered as a backlog in the judiciary. So what happened in this case is that a person was held accountable for theft and some of theft of gold, and the police went and arrested this person Kasturi Lal and confiscated his gold. After some time, the Kasturi Lal was held innocent and was freed. But when he came and asked for gold, he was not provided with his gold, and the constable which was holding that gold flew away with the gold. So basically he sued the state that at my gold, that it is the duty of the state to pay him compensation and the amount of gold. But the Supreme Court said that no, it is a sovereign concern and the state do not have to pay compensation. And but so this is considered a very backlog in judiciary, because this is not a sovereign concern and the Supreme Court do not have to pass this type of judgments. But after some years after this judgment, this Kasturi Lal was bypassed, and the Supreme Court now takes decision on the basis of Article 21, which is a very fundamental right to life and personal liberty. So, and after that, the Supreme Court has held state accountable. I am gonna say some very famous case laws. Saheli versus Commissioner of Police, where the victim was given compensation of 75,000 because there was assault done by the police. There was then again Rudal Saab versus State of Bihar, which is also a very famous case law in which is the Rudal Saab, a person was imprisoned illegally for 14 years, and then he asked compensation for a rehabilitation, and and then he was provided the compensation. So that is all, guys. Thank you. This is Tusarja signing off.